Hey, Christina.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
What are we going to
Good.
talk about today?
We're going to talk about measures of center, and in particular with the mean, median, mode, and mid-range.
Okay. I like measures of center because it kind of boils all the information down to one number. I like
Yes.
that.
It's good for summarizing the data.
Yes.
It's one of those characteristics that we talked about, descriptive statistics. In fact, it's the first one, center.
Yeah. Yeah. One number to describe the whole set.
That's what we think of when we're talking about that average, right? So on average,
Yes. But we're not going to use the word average. We're going to use
No,
the
we're going to
word
be more specific.
mean.
Yes, we're going to be more specific. So some different measures of center. The mean is what we usually think of as the average, right?
Yes.
Where you add up all the data values and then you divide by how many data values you have.
Yeah. Like if you have 5 tests, you add up your 5 test grades, divide by 5.
Yes. And then the median is, if you put all of the values in order, then the median would be the middle value.
And in order from like lowest to highest or whatever the middle is, 50% are above that and 50% are below it.
Yeah. So we have this in your notes here, this column here that says advantages and disadvantages. And I wanted to point out, Susan, that the median is not affected as much anyway by an extreme value.
As the mean can be. The mean can be affected. So let's look at an example. Okay,
Yeah.
this is our little rinky-dinky example of this. You live in a neighborhood and the median salary is 40,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's about the mean also. So the mean.
Let's just say the mean salary and the median salary are both right around 40,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I love this part. Jeff Bezos moves into your neighborhood.
Because he would definitely want to live in my neighborhood.
Definitely. So now down at the end of the street, you got him. And when you average the salaries, when you find the mean salary, it's not going to be.
We're all going to look like millionaires.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though everybody down the street's making around 40,000.
Yeah.
So he's an outlier and he would greatly affect the mean.
Yes.
But the median is just putting everybody in order from lowest income to highest income. And so he's down there at that end where the highest income is, but he's not affecting the median very much.
No, the median might change from like 40,000 to 42,000.
Right.
So it's a better.
I'm sorry.
It's a better measure. I was just going to say it's a better measure of center.
Yes.
When you have an extreme value.
Yes. Median is better when you have an extreme value.
Yes. Yep. And then the other two measures of center, and notice, I meant to mention this. We have mean listed twice because the symbols are different, whether it's for a sample or a population. So a sample mean is going to be represented by X bar, and a population mean is going to be represented with the Greek letter mu. Okay.
And that X bar is a statistic, and mu is a parameter. They're both means, but one's of a sample, one's of a population.
Yes. And then the mode, you've probably heard of that. That's the value that occurs the most often.
And we actually looked at that in the frequency distribution in 1.2.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the histogram.
In the histogram distributions. Really the only advantage of using the mode is that it can be used with nominal data. So if I wanted to know what's the most popular car color, then I could use the mode for that. We don't really use it a whole heck of a lot with quantitative data.
No.
And then a real quick and easy measure of center to find is the mid-range. And it is the value halfway between the maximum and the minimum values in the data set.
Right.
Yeah. Good. So all of these measures of center here, we're going to find using technology.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you wanted to find the average of like your 5 test grades, sure, maybe just type those in the calculator, add them up, divide by 5.
Mhm.
But when we're working with data sets in real life, they tend to be a lot more than you want to type into your calculator.
Right.
So we're going to use StatCrunch, and in StatCrunch, this is one of what we call the summary stats. So what we're going to do is in StatCrunch, we're going to go to Stat, Summary Stats, and then Columns, because we'll have all of our data in a column.
So Summary Stats and StatCrunch finds a lot of your descriptive statistics.
Yep. And we can find the mean and the median and the mode. Now, we don't have an option to find the mid-range. So what we do want to do is find the maximum and the minimum so that we can add those and divide by 2 to get the mid-range.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So first example here, calculate the measures of central tendency for the life expectancies from the given data. Verify.
There's a lot of numbers here, but we're just going to look at the column that has the life expectancy data in it.
Yep. So I'm just going to copy this and I'll paste it into StatCrunch. There we go. And I'm going to go to Stat, Summary Stats, Columns. Select my variable 1 that has my data in it. And then down here where it says statistics, I can choose them by clicking on them, and then I can hold down Control or Command if you're on an Apple to select more than one thing. So I have mean, but I also want median. So I'm going to hold down Control, median. I also want the minimum and the maximum. And then mode is all the way at the bottom. Okay, and then when I hit compute, then I get those values, and you can see that those are the same values that we have in the notes key there. I have 81 for the mean, 82 for the median, 82 for the mode, and then if I add 76 plus 84 and divide that by 2, then I get 80 for the mid-range.
That's right. Can we show them what happens if they don't select which ones they want to see? Because they might just hit compute and just leave that up. Okay.
I can pull it back up.
And they can just see kind of that they'd get a lot more information, but all the things that we selected were actually in the list to begin with.
Except for mode. Yeah. Mode is not on the default list.
Okay. Mode. Okay.
Yeah. But that's the only one. The rest of them are there. Mean is there, median, and your minimum and maximum are there.
Okay.
Yeah. Mode's just at the very bottom of the list, and it's not on the default list. So,
okay.
Yep. Cool. Good. And then, so we want you to use technology to find those. The next part of this section is about weighted means and means of grouped data. So what if I didn't have a list of data, but instead I had something like this GPA example, which we'll go through, or a frequency distribution?
Oh, yeah, we're going to look at both, aren't we?
Yep, we're going to look at both.
Yeah.
So a weighted mean is when you have some different values, but they're weighted differently. So if you think about those 5 tests that you took, right? Maybe 4 of the tests are weighted 10% of your grade, but one of the tests is 25% of your grade. Then I couldn't just add those test scores together and divide by 5.
No.
Because they're not weighted evenly.
Right.
And so the example here is a GPA where you have some courses that have different numbers of credit hours. Right? So if I look at this biology class here that's 4 credits, well, that weights more heavily than the college 1000, which is 1 credit, or the statistics, which is 3 credits.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so you have to add up the total of those weights, we'll say, right? And you have to multiply your value by that weight and add those up and then divide them.
So what we're saying is, like for English, it was a 3 credit hour class. You made a C. C's are worth 2 points. So you have 3 times 2, 6 points.
Yeah. And in academic terms, those are called quality points.
Quality points. Yes.
Yeah.
And then 3 times 4, 12. And so you can 4 times 2, 8 down there for biology.
Yep. So you want to add up your quality points,
Mhm.
and then you're dividing that not by the 5 classes that you had.
Oh,
You're
no.
dividing that by the 14 credit hours that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we can also do this in StatCrunch.
Can
So
make
let's
your life so much easier.
yeah. So let's make a column over here in StatCrunch that says, I'll delete this. I'll have like point values, and then I'll have the number of credits. Okay.
Okay.
So let's see, those point values were 2 for the C, 4 for the A, 3 for the B, 2 for the C, and then 3.5 for the B plus. And that was 3 credits, 3 credits, 3 credits, 4 credits, and 1 credit. Okay. So now I can still go to summary stats, but instead of going to columns, because I have 2 columns of data and that columns is just for 1 column, I'm going to go down to grouped or binned data.
Mhm.
And my bins are my point values, and the counts are the credits, because that's how many times that point value is counting.
Right.
Okay. And then I can get the mean there. And you can see I get the same thing, 2.75, that I got calculating it by hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so the next example in the notes, well, I would also...
It's a frequency distribution that we're going to do the same way, right?
Yep, and you can do it the same way. And you don't even have to change your classes or anything. You could put in the midpoints if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You can leave it exactly how it is. So I can copy this table, and I'm going to change this to seconds and frequency and put that table in there. And then I can go to stat, summary stats, grouped or bin data. Remember,
Now
not
notice we did not do column this time. We did
Right.
grouped or binned data.
Yep. And then the bins are whatever your classes are, and the
Yeah.
counts are your frequencies.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to find the mean here again. Okay. Oh, it didn't like the way that... I think it's because I have spaces in there. Let me just...
I'll
yeah.
pause the video. Okay, so we took the spaces out.
Yeah, I took those spaces out there. It was the way I had it typed in the notes to
Okay.
make it clear.
So
But
now what are we going to do? We're going to
so
go
now I took the spaces out there. So I'm
yeah,
going to go to stat, summary stats, grouped binned data.
right.
Okay. And now pick my classes, which were the seconds, and my counts, which were the frequencies. And I'm going to select the mean for the statistic that I'm finding. And there we go. So this is rounded to a bit further than what we rounded to, but I get the same.
Right.
7.
Can you also highlight that it says approximate summary stats? Because it's not the actual, we don't know what the real second measurements were. We just only know that 5 of them were in that first class and 8 of them were in the 6 second range, but we don't know whether all 8 of them were 6.2 or 6 point whatever.
Right.
So it's an approximate summary statistic.
Yep. And that's why we have over here estimate the mean, right? Because
So
we're assuming that all 5 of these frequencies here, we're assuming that all 5 of those are the class midpoint, 5.45.
But we don't know. All 5 of them could have been 5.0 or 5.9, but we just have to assume that they were right in the middle at 5.45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so on your homework, there's just a combination of finding those summary stats with lists of data and with frequency distributions.
Okay.
See you next time.
Right?
That's it.